Hello, Rob here from the coaching channel, and today I am interviewing Massimo Comuzzi, or Max as I know him. He is a fellow CTI trained life coach. He runs his own life coaching company called State of Resonance Life Coaching, and he is going to arrive with his life purpose statement that he has created. We'll be looking into that and trying to understand what that means to him and his clients, but also we'll be finding out about his life story and how that relates to his professional work as a life coach. We will also be answering three important questions. What is the language of purpose? Why is it important to have purpose? And how can we live out our purpose on a daily basis? This is a great interview. It's a pleasure to have Max on the channel. And please do click and subscribe to the coaching channel because that helps us reach more people and make more powerful connections. Thank you very much for watching. So good morning, Max. Thank you very much for joining me on the coaching channel. How are you?
Hey Rob, good morning. All good, all good. Seems we are in tune. We got the same color.
yeah.
Blue. It's my favorite one.
It is. Mine too. Is kind of a. I think it's like a David Attenborough attempt at continuity.
True. Every time I see David, I say, yeah, there's something I like about that guy. Yeah, the blue connection is absolutely key.
Yeah. So Max, just where are you today?
So I'm in London. I live close to Wimbledon, and yeah, we started with the fog, but now sunny day, beautiful.
Same here. Yeah, it's been quite frosty this morning, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, so you and I are both trained in the CTI model of coaching. We've connected online. We've met in person. We've been for a great walk around Richmond Park together.
Oh, superb.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to know you and to do some work with you. And so I wanted to start by hearing a little bit about your life story, because I think everyone connects with a story, and if you're going to work with someone, hearing about them and about what it is that makes them up is interesting. So, what can you say about your own life story?
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me this space. No, you don't get a chance really that often to explore and review your life story. So very briefly. I'm born and bred in Venice, Italy. Village small, close to Venice on the seaside. Very simple life, and I could go fishing out there as many times as I wanted. So really, I had the ocean on my doorstep. Beautiful. I just grew up with no expectations in terms of life. So my parents they just expected to behave and be a good boy. They were very big in ethics. There was a little bit more than that, but I was not set any objectives. So it was very free life, very easygoing. And I draw this parallel because yesterday there was the GCSE results, and there's so much pressure in these days on kids. I didn't have any of those. This is why I brought it up, and I connected to my life story. For me, it was a gift. So I got my first 20 years, and I started education, and actually I finished education my home time. I dropped out from university. I didn't complete university because I had a strange offer to move on IT. My background is in humanities, nothing to do with technology engineering, but in those days, late 80s, it was just an adventure. So I just jumped on as a T-boy, just bringing they were writing code on paper. So I was moving paper from the left to the right to the coders, and I learned just by looking at the papers. And then I started to type the code, and then I started to code. And in about 5 or 6 years, actually, I became a software engineer. So I had a job on IBM Italy. Astonishing. Writing code for accounting. I didn't know credits and debits, but I just learned everything on the job. Thanks to mentors. I was so lucky with beautiful people. So I took my chances, moved around Italy, and then I had a chance to come to London. So I dropped everything. Even there, I was a bit of an adventure. I just opened a piece of paper on the local paper, and there was, oh, you want to come to London for an IT job? I just pick up the phone just for fun. 3 months later, I was in London, not turning back, and 25 years here I am, still in London. So I made an international career in London. I moved to finance, banking, but always doing IT. I moved from software engineer to team leader to people manager. And then another day, the phone rang and said, oh, you want a job in Singapore? I said, why not? So I took a job and moved with my wife. We relocated to Asia. We stayed there 6 years. Big job, massive responsibilities for a major international organization. And that was probably my best job ever in organization, managing people across culture, across 25 countries. I had hundreds of people working in my teams. I was always on the road. And for me, it was such a cross-cultural work. And I really threw myself. And that led me to coaching eventually. HR said, Max, you're doing a really good job with people. What about coaching? What about coaching? So I came back to London in 2016. I did all my courses, certifications, and about 2.5 years ago, I jumped to a full-time coaching and following my really my deep vocation, which is helping people, connecting to people, and doing something that is bigger than ourselves. I take a breather. I stop here. So that, not to show there was a concise history of Max, but that's what came out.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more to say, but I know. Thank you so much. Thank you. So from this boy, the simple boy of that, not simple boy, but a boy who has like simple freedom in Venice, no worries, and you've gone on this international journey, including London and Singapore. So was it London, Singapore, back to London?
Back to London. Yeah.
Back to London. Okay. And just it sounds like there's a lot of saying yes, yes to that, and trying this, and yes to moving, and yes to maybe taking up coaching, and also being recognised for what you were doing with people already.
Yeah, recognition is very important. I think one of the most difficult things is to understand yourself. It's a cliche, but it's been for millennia out there. Know yourself. One of the easiest way to do it is to actually listen to others. People see in you what you can't see yourself. So being recognized and getting a lot of feedback and listen to the feedback very attentively is so important. That HR person that said, Max, you're doing something special here. Oh, what is it? You just around your life, you're immersed in this river. You don't even know where you are swimming sometimes. And then someone from the boat saying, well, good job. You can do more than that. Really? So recognition is being fundamental for guiding me and recognizing me really what are my key qualities and play with them, play with my strengths. Yes.
I love that idea of learning about yourself from other people, helping you see the things that you can't see. And it seems like you just have a kind of a subtle success to your interest. It's a suggestion comes up. So, oh yeah, okay, let's look at that. And it's more subtle than I'm going to become a manager, or I'm going to become a leader, or I'm going to become a coach. It's getting lost in that little process, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think, and I was just preparing, just 5 minutes before this interview, because you need to get into the zone. And it's more than subtle, actually. Thing for me is my superpower, intuition. Intuition is what really pushes me in an instant to make those leaps, big changes. So probably most of the day you work with your rational mind and you guide your analytical capabilities through the maze really of million of decisions you do on a day-to-day basis. But then when I have to do big stuff, it's instantaneous. I've done so many things that really changed my life. Even when I went to Singapore and pick up a phone from an unknown number, and what did this recruitment agent say? Oh, there's an opportunity, Max. What do you think? I knew it in this precise instance. If I don't put up the phone right now, I will take this job. So it seems the intuition makes a decision, and then you need to find a rational explanation to carry on that. But the decision is already made, and I know it, and yeah, I stick to it. So that's my superpower, I believe.
I've got an image of you having like a backpack of intuition just ready to go, you know. So when that call comes in, it's just, I'll grab the bag, off I go, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think yeah, I like the backpack because it's there, it's with you, you know, it's part of, or you carry on everywhere, so you're ready. Whatever happens, you have your backpack and a lot of zips and
Oh yeah, compartments.
the compartments, so you unleash a different type of intuition, but it's all part of your arsenal of tools. But for me, it's the backpack of the truth. That's what intuition, you got in the backpack, is kind of tool intuition, you know, that pulls out, but it's the truth inside you. That for me is
And you can't see your own backpack. You know, you said about other people helping you understand yourself. You know, if you're wearing a backpack amongst others, they can clearly see you wearing that backpack. And if that is, you know, an analogy for your intuition, you know you've got it, but they can clearly see something in you. So maybe there's a lot to be said about what we hold back here, what we possess, or what you possess, that we can't clearly see, but other people can give us their own interpretation of it.
Yeah, and what is great is now over time and with age, I make more and more use of this intuition. I did a lot in the younger days, but without really even realizing it. We are really unconscious. I think, you know, over time you become more conscious, and you rely even more on that rather than less. I know that sometimes there's a fear, you know, this irrational decision. Why you want to really rely on intuition when everything is fact checked, everything must be knowledge or data driven in this world, and the intuition seems to be a really kind of fluffy thing. But no, for me, it's the kind of sum of your experiences, but also a memory of the truth. But using to be more higher language, or maybe a little bit more a touch of spiritual language, but that's what it means to me. That's what springs to mind right now, and it becomes stronger every day.
Okay, so a memory of the truth. Okay, I like that. And just to reflect back on your life story, so you've come from a place which I'm assuming is quite data driven. There's ones and zeros and yeses and nos, but despite that, your intuition, your backpack stayed with you. When you were younger, this was just something that happened, but now you're more conscious of this as a skill. And as you mature, then you have more clarity around what you have, and you're calling it now a superpower. And I firmly believe that too.
Thank you. This is one more moment of that verbalizing is so important, and getting a mirror. You know, you're acting like a mirror now. Robert, for me, is sort of lending, and I feel that the resonance that is the name of my coaching company, State of Resonance, because for me it's all about resonance. When you got that vibration, they go really in sync. This is where intuition really kicks in, and you know that you are on the right track, and then it becomes a matter of trust.
I say quite often that resonance is like, you know, a well-struck tuning fork makes a certain noise.
Oh, I love it.
Pitch.
Yeah.
And so maybe I can imagine that's what you achieve. That's what you're looking for, either with your clients or results. But okay, a state of resonance. So I did say at the beginning that you've arrived with a life purpose statement crafted already. We are going to listen to that and absorb that, and also I'm going to be offering my own interpretation of how I'll be looking at your backpack, you know, to help you see what you might not be able to see. So what is your current life purpose statement as it stands?
As it stands, so I am a traveler and a free spirit connected to the universe, with the courage to step up for the greater good. I give people confidence, opening doors to a calm world where being yourself is just perfect.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot in there. So you travel,
There's a lot.
free spirit, connected, there's courage, stepping up, confidence, and being yourself. I've got an image of you just being very playful in your younger life in Venice, on the beach, traveling in that area. It sounds like you're a free spirit, connected with your locality, but you had the courage to step up, to leave that area. You had confidence in yourself. So there's a lot of connection with that and the story that you're telling already.
Thank you. This is very precious moments. Again, it's not often. It's very rare moments where you share and have a conversation on your life purpose statement. So very special. Very special to see all these connections in there.
And this is the it sounds like the soil in which you, as like a plant, have developed. You've been your life has fed certain things into you to who you are now. You've become a lot more conscious about who you are as a person.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, for everyone watching, there's such a strong power in understanding and looking into your own story. I think Max, you and I were constantly doing that. We help our clients do that. So it's really important to hear a purpose, which is like a summary of a story in a way.
Yeah, and I'm just we are not playing a script here, so this is really live interaction. So I want to share some of the feelings, because there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of joy in recognizing all the threads and the connections and this powerful statement. But there's a lot of vulnerability. I feel a bit vulnerable to go in public to share with everybody, and such a private thing, and making this massive statement that might not make sense to many people. It actually, I feel is a small act of courage, but a very important one. I'm just trying to read my emotions at this point in time. There's a two sides. You have a vulnerability, but it's empowerment on the flip side, and they go kind of together like a knife edge, maybe, or a double side of a coin.
It's like you're flying a private flag, and on that flag, everyone can see your story, the one you've just told. With all the subtleties and the private moments, and so it's hoisting that flag amongst the crowd that we are, the earth, people on earth, and making it visible to everyone. It's like, this is what I've been through, this is who I am, these are my skills, and that takes courage. But also, it's so important for the crowd to see that flag, because for some people it may mean nothing, but for some people it will mean everything, and that's how we find people that we want to either join on a journey, to be led by, to be coached by, to work with. So thank you.
Thank you, Rob. I think we all need this moment. This is not just yes, we have a role modeling from a coaching perspective, but this is real. This is me doing this on a live conversation. It is as good as a private coaching conversation. There's a lot of magic happening here. So very grateful.
Thank you. So let's move into your professional work. So as a coach, company state of resonance life coaching, and then we're going to go into answering those 3 questions that I voiced earlier. So do you have a typical client? Are you mainly coaching individuals, or is it groups? And also, I do want to hear about the library. So I put a mental. Yeah.
Okay.
So you choose. Where would you like to start?
I like to say that I have a holistic approach to my coaching, because I have two major streams. I have a business and I have a individual private clients. I use the same tools. The context is only different. So on the business side, I have a clients ranging from entrepreneurs in small companies for leadership, especially growing companies where they need a different mindset for innovation and growth. I coach corporate managers to inspire the people and be authentic leaders. Also do group coaching. I coach groups of people, teams, or people from different departments for collaboration and communication. And I do it both on the commercial and then on the non-profit side. On the non-profit, I currently coaching and on the environmental marine conservation organization. It's an incredible work. Coaching middle managers in order to strengthen leadership, but also the cross-cultural work that I can relate so much with. I coach graduates to transition from education to work as part of a charity focusing on young people from disadvantaged background. I do a bit of mental health in organization and also diversity and inclusion training, again on the environmental side. So quite a diverse client base. On the individuals, I got professionals, mainly for professional identity and authentic branding. And then last but not least is my community work that I do with my local libraries. I do group coaching, life coaching for groups, people coming in from all walks in life, different ages, background. They just walk in and we do group sessions, and it's absolutely beautiful. For me, it's about grounding, finding values, finding the purpose, and then getting to action. And then the following sessions, we do another exercise, we recap on the actions, we do another discovery tool, visualizations, drawing, lots of creative work, and then we go into the next batch of action for the following week, and so on and so forth. It is incredible, empowering work for everybody, me included, because I'm part of the actions I committed to action for the following week as well. So I try to walk the talk as a coach.
Wow. So and breathe. Everyone just take that in.
Yeah,
there's a lot there. Okay. You're connecting many different areas of society. That stands out. Coaching, I think, in the UK, I would say that mainly it's known of and utilised in a professional kind of corporate arena, but that's just one string to your bow. The coaching young individuals in terms of community work in the library, that you said something about middle managers and leaders. That's an interesting relationship between those two groups. And you've got the division between business and private coaching as well. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, it's currently the library, because it's very edgy from my perspective. You don't know, you have no idea who is going to show up and what. So in other relationships, there's a lot of preparations. You set up, you already have some information about the individuals. So here is all in the moment of being present. So from a coaching perspective, it's the essence, because you need to be present, but it's also creating the glue among different people. So that for me is growth as a coach, but also in parallel, what I really like to work with young people, because they are so open, so creative. They really stretch so much in their objectives. They make the most of coaching. I think young people are really the one they embrace coaching to a level that is sometimes breathtaking for myself. When they come back with such incredible changes and transformation in their life, it's hard to believe how quickly they can move. So that is kind of close to my heart. Having said that, every client, of course, they are special.
Yeah, especially
every relationship is unique. It's very difficult to talk about favorites. The type of work that I might prefer in terms of clients, I think that they are all really special.
I think the variety is important. I know from my own work that when I do a lot of one type of coaching or in one setting, I crave something different after a while, because there's something special about every type of coaching or every way of coaching. There's a different energy involved as well, especially in group coaching, when you have the energy of the group as a whole. Those individuals, they all bring their own little magic ingredient to put into the pot.
Absolutely. It's embracing the magic, and creating this collective superpower. That is not that the sum of the participants is something greater, and it requires a lot of trust that it will work some way somehow. This is where also my intuition serves me really well, because it grants me in the present, staying with people, not thinking about scripts or steps or framework that need to implement. It's about focusing on the relationship. It's about focusing on the person in front of you, getting that bond that will take you deeper in the moment. If you start thinking about structures or processes or steps, it will take you out of the moment, and the relationship will be flatter. You can still do good work. I'm not saying that, but it's not as deep as it can be in the moment. We are going to a different level now, Rob.
Yeah.
Almost spiritual.
So that willingness just to let the flow take you wherever you will go. I think it sounds like you must have a trust in your own abilities to be able to be effective and impactful, in that stream, in that kind of current. And the fluidity, not holding on to a structure, and just seeing kind of the complexity and the value and the superpower of your clients. That's the structure, is whatever they bring, and you're ready to react with that and to dance around with it and to find out what they want to affect.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. This is kind of way of running the sessions and creating flow. However, there are some fundamentals. There are some. I think every coach would bring their own philosophy or fundamentals. There is an underlying. We all share the same training, for instance, coactive, or could be the different schools. But let's say the majority of the things we do is very similar. But I'm not sure the percentage, but there's a bit of our personal beliefs and the way we do it as individual coach. For me, for instance, I always keep in mind, let's focus on what's really important in life. Sometimes we might derail, even in this flow of the conversation, and this is fine, but I always, in the back of my mind, is focusing on the big stuff, what is really important. And you land a question about, so what's important for you on this one? What do you want to be? Or big questions, in order to keep the magnetic pull on the big agenda, on the big A.
Yeah.
The other bit is integrity, and this is be one, be yourself, be real. Always watch as a coach. That for me is the meaning of integrity. Is really not being pulled in other identities or other things. Always keep the client to the essence, to who they are, and that is always something I keep really a close eye. And overall, I want to remove the resistance to life. I want people say no to negativity. So that is me, because I'm very positive. I look at the bright future. I always think there are possibilities, and this is what I bring to my clients. Say no to negativity. There's nothing in there. It is choose love, no fear. If you really want to see two categories, it's always a commitment to the greater good and love. So those are important things, I believe, that I bring to my client as Max.
That's something else that's on that flag. You said about the magnetic pull. I've got, clients are attracted to coaches because they offer something that they want. There's a click, there's a connection, and both the client and the coach will think, yeah, we can do great work together. Let's go for this. So you said about the magnetic pull.
Yes.
I believe you've got a strong magnetic pull, but within that is that kind of that freedom that your clients I'm assuming, will love, where you've got a structure to your coaching, but in the same breath, it has a lot of freedom. So there is a pull to kind of come to you as a coach, but there's a lot of freedom for them to go off and explore. But you're holding not a line, but I don't know, a way of being, so that you're almost like a bit of a reference point, so that your clients can go away and explore their world, but come back and revisit things with you, and then go away again. So it sounds quite a safe way to explore themselves.
Yeah, I think what you described is focusing on the being, and I this is a great reflection, Rob. I love it. The way of being is the anchor for life, because it's always a place where you want to go back to, but also is your anchor on everything you do. It's a kind of an unconditional commitment that you make to yourself, because this is who you are, and to avoid going in the directions you don't want to go there anymore, or you want to really to avoid. So yeah, it's all about the being. Doing is key to learn and get stuff done. That I think coaching, and especially the coaching that we do as a coactive coaches, is about being. In fact, the most important question is, what do you want to be in your life? That is the kind of grounding point. Not what you want to do, not what you want to achieve. It's what do you want to be. That is the great reflection, great anchor, and foundations for sailing really through the journey, through your life. Wow.
Love it. Okay, so there's a lot that's going to land with me as we go on. So
yeah, I'm in free flow, stream of consciousness. So keep me honest, Rob. Here, I'm going in all directions.
So we've been using the language of purpose here.
Yeah, of course.
And let's talk about it a bit more explicitly. The question is, what is the language of purpose? So what can we relay? What knowledge can we impart to the audience that helps them understand an answer to that question? What is the language of purpose?
So I think I was free flowing, and that is the language of purpose. Is no filters. It is you. Words are signposts. I don't get hung up too much on words. They are very important. They're absolutely important. But in my mind, I don't think, oh, this is the right word. This is, oh, should I say this or that? In the language of purpose is from the heart. It's just a free flowing. And there are truths in there that you don't even know. So this is where having you, Rob, or having a coach is so important, because you can pick up on those words in different ways with intuition, resonance, or other skills, and playing back, and then we really get the meaning and the anchor on those words in order to build a life purpose statement, and then there's something that will stay with us.
I love the idea there's no filter. So it allows everything to come out and to come through, and you just see the value of those things. because if we start filtering some things out, then other things get blocked behind that. So there's no right, there's no wrong. It's all information. It's all ways to learn about yourself. That's what I'm getting from this. And also, it's conscious and unconscious. You might say something, or I might say something, and one or the other person will say, "Hey, what's that?" And it hasn't really, made a spark in my head, but to you it means something. And that, okay.
But then in practical terms, because I think already this is the question. Okay, now what? What do I do with this beautiful, poetic, and big words out there on this statement? So if I read mine, even this morning I was looking at the plan for my day, a number of things, and I just check, what does traveler mean for me? It means for me. I know that if I stay in this room, as comfortable and beautiful it might be, my brain after 2 or 3 hours, it will run out of steam. I needed to move. For me, traveling means movement. I need to get somewhere else and get the movement. Otherwise, my productivity will go down. As simple as that. I need to move. I look at the free spirit. I have a resistance. I like the team working. My past in working in really large international teams is fantastic, but still I need my independence. I need to be able to work on my own, on my tasks, rather than working on the directions. So I'm always watching for this, even on coaching, doing associate work. Sometimes for me, it's just that I don't have the freedom to be who I am. I cannot be the best coach, so I'm saying no. I'm saying no to the kind of work. Last bit, connected to the universe. Again, it might be mumbo jumbo. It might sound like that. For me, having the connection to spirituality, intuition, and believing in something, there's something greater out there. It will lead me also to land a different type of jobs. I love working for the environmental industry, because now it's very close to my heart. And last bit is the courage to step up for the greater good. That is always a stretch, because I can do always more, and I'm not doing enough. So I'm not beating myself up, but it's more an invitation. Max, what can you do now, more than you're doing right now, for the greater good? And if I can change the direction with 1 degree on the day, is a success. So it's always a direction that I can use this life purpose statement to make choices, for my decision-making process, to do better things in my life and for others.
So that goes some way to answering the second question, which, why is purpose important? Because you can use it to make choices. As you've talked today, I think what's clear is no matter what you're doing, there is a certain way that you like moving through life, which is how you want to be in life. You said about what do you want to be. There is also the question of how do you want to be.
Yeah.
And purpose is, I believe, how do you want to be, what do you want to be, and what is the impact that you want to have. And I think if you looked in all the different situations and different settings, geographical settings, work settings in your life, we're going to see, a rich kind of coal seam, a thing that we can find in every setting in you, a way that you are being, and then what you are doing as a person, that comes out as your purpose. So to answer that question, why is purpose important? I think it's important because if we are not living on purpose, we're not sounding right as that tuning fork. Something off. We can be impactful, we can be effective, but are we heading through life how we want to be, having the impact we want to have? So the last thing you said, you can use it to make choices. It's a bit like a filter itself. You can kind of send options and choices and things through the filter of your purpose. Does it pass muster? Does it actually work?
Yeah, it's choices. It can be, should I go on the right, on the left, and doing this and that. But it's also much bigger choices, in terms of being. You want to live your heart at peace, or you choose fear. So we can go deeper than that, but sometimes that is it boils down to that point. I'm not taking this job because I think I'm not good enough. That's fear. I'm not doing this because God knows what will happen, what people will say, and it's a constant fear playing behind it. So you might go down and say, recognize through your life purpose statement the dissonance, and then we'll take you to more rational and analytical thinking. So the life purpose works on the emotional side, and this is what we all as humans we face a challenge, because emotion will take over, intersecting in the moment as it happens. That is the greatest challenge we face. There are many tools. I'm not saying the life purpose statement is the only way to do it, but it is a powerful tool. And if it works for you, give it a go, try it. For me, it does. And it helps me then to land in a place where I can step back, think, and make a choice that is aligned to me. So yeah, that's the way it works in my life, and the way I offer to my clients. And I had a client the other day, actually, there was a client that said, Max, can I live without this life purpose statement? Say, I explain my experience. This is not the way I do it, but then is a question for you to answer.
That's a really great question that they asked you. They will have a purpose statement, whether they know it or not. And this is part of the point of these interviews that I do, is that some people have purpose statements like yourself. I'm still offering my version of it, and some people arrive without knowing what their purpose is. It does exist because I glean it from their story and the interview. So whether we like it or not, we are a certain way as we move through life. We have a certain impact, whether we know it or not. The real power is actually talking about it, investigating it, and then taking ownership of it.
Taking ownership.
There's something around the impact you're having. For me, is that there's a certain type of, you said earlier about working with managers and leaders, and I would want to follow you. That makes you a leader in my eyes.
Thank you.
So I think the impact you're having is that you're leading others with the resonant language of purpose. That's the impact for me from what I've heard today. And there's the metaphor for who you're being as you do that. I'll come up with in a moment. But let's ask that last question. I think we've gone some way to answer it already, but how do we live our purpose each day is the last question. So what do you have to say in answer to that, Max? How do we live our purpose each day?
Okay, take it just a moment. This is a big question. There are a number of points. For me, is, for instance, this is a big one, is being present is number one. If you're not present, everything goes out of the window. You need to surrender to the moment in a way that you are focusing on what's happening to you right now. If you're living too much in the past and in the future, I'm not saying that you don't have to. There are just useful tools that the only thing you have is the present. If you're at work, you're with family, you are everywhere. By being present and recognizing what's happening, you have a choice in the moment. We can do post-mortem analysis and backwards and lessons learned, but you want really to make a choice in the right moment. So if you're present and you feel empowered, you have a choice and you can make a difference in the moment. This is where quickly reconnecting to your life purpose will help you. You don't have to recall it 5 times, 10 or 20 times a day. It will go unconsciously in the back. That initially you just work it out. You have it ready, and it will help you to make a decision. So that is being present, reconnecting, and making a choice. Stop it for a moment, because this is already a big big item. The other point I just put it on the wall here, so this is just in front of me. In the morning when I started using my I plan for the day. Hey, yes, no, black and white, binary, 1-0. Not for every single task, not for the big ones. Yeah, definitely I use it, and then is planning ahead. You know what you're gonna do today, and you give priority to the stuff that is really important to you. No, to something else.
Wow. Okay.
So I stop here because I can go on and on, but I think these are for me the 2 points. You can live it, but you can also plan it, and by saying no, it will help you to say no to things. That is massive.
Yeah. There's a simplicity to purpose because of that filtering. Helps you say yes to some things and no to others, and the things you're saying yes to help you stay on the path to live out. If your purpose is a line on the ground and you're making choices that don't resonate with your purpose, you're walking off that line, and then you're not being how you want to be.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I say yes to this interview. And I had another meeting this morning around this time. It's an unusually busy Friday, and I said no to other things because this is I really need to go deeper, and this is an opportunity for me to embody even more my life purpose statement. So that actually helped me to say yes to this moment, because it cement even more what I want to do.
Oh, well, I'm really glad you chose us. So again, going back to thank you for your answer to that question. So how do we live our purpose each day? To be present, to surrender, to focus on the now, to live it, to plan it, to know it. So that the impact, again, going back to your impact and my interpretation of your purpose, it's you're helping people surrender to the powerful moments of their purpose. Because there's moments all the time and they can go unexplored, undiscovered, but there's something about you that helps people stop and notice, to play in that moment and explore. And who are you being to do that? There's something about you being relaxed. For me, there's the connection of you being on the beach in Venice. When you go on holiday and you stood on the beach, and that helps you be present in the moment because you've got the sand in between your toes, you've got the breeze, the sound of the waves. So quite often it's why people will get to a beach and just breathe a sigh. There's so much going on there that you can't ignore the physical interaction you have with the environment. Sure. So you are like an environment, like you are like I'm going to call you something like the intuitive beach, because when people stand in your environment, they can't help but pause and surrender to their powerful moment of purpose. There's something about you which interrupts the usual natter and clatter of life, and people can just let you or your presence almost wash over them a little bit, and they surrender and find their powerful moments of purpose.
I love this senses overload in order to remove noise. You got noise to remove noise and actually have a laser focus on in the moment on you. Love it, Rob.
Okay, so I'm going to say it again, so I've got it in my head. So I'm gathering it from bits all over my notepad here. You're the intuitive Venetian beach who allows others to surrender to their powerful moments of purpose.
I'm the intuitive Venetian beach that help people to surrender.
Who allows others
to other people to surrender to the powerful moment of purpose.
Or moments, because we know there are many
moments.
But actually, it's just it's an ongoing timeline. So for everyone watching, this is partly what coaching is. It's Max has a purpose already. This is my interpretation. This is me seeing the backpack that we talked about earlier, and this is why a working relationship can be so powerful. You can see more than you can see by yourself, and obviously it has to land with Max, has to mean something to him. But this is what helps people see more of somebody, is getting different perspectives. So do with it what you will, but I respectfully
no, this is great, because this is more my professional. This is a continuation. So the one that I know we started with, it was my personal. So this actually works on the it's more for my clients, for my professional side, and you added an imagery in a visualization that is so powerful. So thank you, Rob. I'm going to take it.
Thank you very much. And for everyone watching who wouldn't want to stand on a beach with Max and just investigate their purpose, okay? That would be.
I would bring ice cream.
Venetian ice cream, I hope. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Oh, look at the change in you there. Oh, good stuff.
Oh, best.
Yeah. Wow. So let's reflect back. We've heard about your purpose already. We've talked about your life journey. Obviously, high-level information. We talked about your professional work. And in that, we've danced around it, discovering your purpose as far as I can see it. And then we've answered the 3 questions. What is the language of purpose? Why is purpose important? And how do we live, or how can we live out our purpose each day? I think there's a lot of content there for our viewers.
Lots of content for us, for our viewers, and amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Now, if you want to contact Max, you can look in the description below this video. All of his details will be there. Max, do you have a preferred method of contact?
Look, I am particularly active on LinkedIn. You find all my information from there on my website. You can contact me. This is my phone number, so you can send me a message, a text, or you can send me an email. You will find all the details on LinkedIn, and then you can click, or you can go to my website. So I'm going to expand on Instagram, Facebook this autumn. So I'm going to be more active. I'm also Meetup. I will do weekly free sessions. So, but starting point is from LinkedIn, and then from there you can go anywhere.
Great. Great. Thank you very much. Max, it's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to meeting you London again for a walk and a talk.
I love it. I will love it. I will love it. There's so much to talk about, Rob. Thank you for the opportunity. I enjoyed it. This is the best part of the day, and I have a lot to take away. But thank you for also giving me visibility to social media, to the people that will listen to this video. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Take care.